Hello and welcome to Ogun State Weekly. I am Henry Ogunjimi.
And I am BC Adebayo.
Today on the program, following the conclusion of the performance assessment tour of the 20 local government areas in Ogun State, government officials took the feedbacks from the tour to the 4th Town Hall meeting on the state's budget to source contributions from the general public and interest groups in drawing up the budget for the year 2015.
Ogun State government commits to ensuring a habitable environment for living and business activities in the state as it holds the first ever summit on the environment with the objective of encouraging best practices and self-compliance.
But just before we bring you those details, one of the fallouts of the just concluded performance assessment tour is the issue of youth unemployment in Ogun State and in Nigeria in general. Repeatedly, the state governor, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, has prescribed agriculture as a major solution.
Today on our special focus for the week, Ogun State Weekly engages the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture in Ogun State, Mrs. Ronke Shokefun, who explains how the current administration is creating jobs for the youth through increased agricultural production and at the same time increasing revenue generation.
If you look all around you, especially across the entire country, you realize that agriculture was in the doldrums, and therefore he took it upon himself to make that sector viable once more again. In the 70s, agriculture accounted for well over 60% of the nation's GDP, and also in the 60s, it was the highest revenue earner for the nation, right before we discovered oil. And thereafter, the sector just nosedived. So there's a passion, especially because the natural resources, supporting resources are there. Is it land? Is it arable? It's all available in the state. So he had that burning desire to revamp that sector. And that's why he formed one of the 5 cardinal programs of the current administration. We have a target of about 350 million naira yearly. But again, when you look at that, it's like a drop in the ocean. So it's really, the focus really is not on the IGL side of things, but on value addition. And like I said, a revamp of that sector to ensure that there are enough raw materials to feed the industries in the state. I'll give you an example. This state has the largest concentration of cassava processing industries, and some are operating at 30% capacity because they do not have enough raw materials. People source as far as Kogi for cassava. Do we not have cassava farmers in the state? We do. But do they produce enough? No. So we're looking at a situation in which we can partner with the private sector, see how we can do industrialized farming, mechanized farming, to support these industries. So that's why it's tied together, that it will be agricultural production that will lead to industrialization. Coincidentally, some of the people that have approached us for land, because when I started visiting some of these industries, I said to them, look, as a matter of necessity, you must look at backward integration. You must start from how do I even get raw materials before you establish your industries. So thankfully, together with the Commissioner for Industries, we met these companies together, and a number of them have come back to us to now ask for land on which they can engage our farmers to do massive planting for them, apart from the mechanized, because also we don't want our farmers becoming extinct. This is their source of livelihood, and we'd like to keep them in the business. We can't also limit it to just the funding element. First, we've keyed into the federal government's Growth Enhancement Support Scheme, GS, simply called GS, which is an offshoot of the Agricultural Transformation Agenda of the federal government. In that wise, we make inputs available to farmers at 50% rebate. So the federal government picks up 50% of the cost, we pick up 50% of the cost. We give them inputs like seedlings, fertilizers are sold at 50% discount, so it's almost like buy one, get one free. And the only thing is, of course, there's a cap on how many bags you can buy. Again, we do not want them turning into retailers. So it's actually to streamline the actual number of bags that we believe a farmer would need. Also, we invested heavily in equipment, and we make the equipment available at yes, they're not strictly commercial rates, but they're far lower than what they will get in the market out there. So these equipment are available for them to assist them with land clearing and land preparation. Let me now speak to the issue of physical cash support. This state government in 2011 keyed into the federal government's CAC's facility, the Central Bank Initiative. And in that wise, I believe we got 2 billion naira, and part of this we made available to the different commodity farmer groups. Cocoa farmers got a bit of it, cassava farmers got a bit of it. As I speak to you, some of these loans are outstanding, but in the same vein, some have been fully repaid. I speak specifically to a particular farmers association. They've repaid in full. They took 25 million naira, they have repaid in full, and they approached us again and they said, oh, we would like to take another facility. They're based in the East Senatorial District, they're in Eriwe, a place called Eriwe. So it's a mixed bag. So when you look at it strictly from the fund part of it, you miss a lot. You have to look at the supporting environments. Like I said, equipment is available, inputs are available, fertilizers are available, chemicals are available. So these are all the things that we have in stock to support that. The key criteria is you cannot come as an individual. You must belong to a cooperative, and that's how farmers groups are generally structured. The umbrella body is called AFAN, that's the All Farmers Association of Nigeria. But under that, you then have like I said, the various commodity groups. You have Rice Farmers Association, you have Cassava Farmers Association, you have up to peppers and tomato growers. So you have different commodity groups, and they're the ones that approach us, and they're the ones that we deal with. Because it's easier to go after those cooperatives in terms of seeking your refund. As I speak to you, we have a team in place that's monitoring, that's going around, because at the end of each year we sit with Central Bank to do a reconciliation. They want to know, are these cooperative groups, are they repaying? In fact, they were quite impressed when they came last December, and they were like, it's one of the few states they've been where we didn't say to them that, oh, the farmers actually thought it was national cake. We monitor to ensure that the loan is deployed for the purpose for which it was taken. The only thing is, in certain instances, the repayment, like I said, has been a bit slow. You have a farm settlement in Shawojo, which is in Ogun West. You have a farm settlement in Odeda, which is in Ogun Central Senatorial District. What we have realized is, again, if government decides to go it alone, you just keep expending capital expenditure on all these projects. So we are looking to partner with the private sector in this regard. But at the same time, pending the execution of most of these, what we also decided to do is we looked all around us. There's so many agricultural graduates out there that have a lot to offer. So we created one afresh, which is, the target is solely agricultural courses graduates. That's situated in Owu, in Ogun Central Senatorial District. We built it afresh, the houses are there, they do fishing, they do fishery, they do poultry production, they plant cassava, they plant maize, and the scope is just, as I speak to you, we're also planning to take some greenhouses to them, so that they also start planting tomatoes. Every Friday, if you come here, we have a market, it's called Ojairo, which is where we exhibit our agricultural products for sale to civil servants. But you find out that outside the civil servants, people from town actually even come here. Everybody's heard about it. Why do we have that? Because first, like I said, it's an outlet for our own produce. But more importantly, we sell at farm gate prices. So it's the same price that the wholesaler who goes to Ogun to pick up our eggs will buy it here. So we bear the cost of the transportation. We have the equipment, we have the vehicles at our disposal. So it's just that every Thursday morning they drive down to the farm, pick up the produce, and come and exhibit them here. Apart from the rural model that we're running, we also have the Kotokpo greenhouse technology project. There we grow tomatoes. Again, we bring them to the market every Friday. Again, is to encourage agricultural graduates so that they know that farming is not as tedious as it used to be. It's not as rudimentary as it used to be. You can actually enjoy farming. And you see the joy on their faces. Actually, when you visit the farm, you see them tending to their greenhouses. It's different, like I said. It's not your hoe and cutlass kind of farming any longer. No. It's supported by improved technology. And we can only hope to better this and expand rapidly on it so that we can employ more hands.